gummy bear.
It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this for July 7th, 2023. For the next hour or so, let me help you sort through the world of gaming on Game Mess Mornings Live with me, Jeff Grubb. Today, Street Fighter 6 sales numbers, Yuji Naka's punishment, and more. But first, please join me in welcoming today's co-host of Game Mess Mornings. It's Timur Hussein, everybody. Timur, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Jeff, every time I open this document that we use as a run of show, there's one thing that I always see and makes me chuckle.
Yes.
But don't think I've pointed it out. You have the date here, and 2023 is the biggest in terms of font size in this document. 2023 is huge.
Yeah.
It's bolded. It's in impact. It's 16 for reference. The rest of the text is in point 11. 2023 16. Are you forgetting the year that regularly?
I was at one point, yes. I'm much better off now, but
okay,
in the let's call it the early days of the year, it wasn't. It was like March, and I was still saying 2022 a lot, and I would get yelled at. And so I need to just do something here. And now the first thing I do notice when I open this doc is 2023. This point though, it's not as helpful anymore. I'm fine, but there was a time where I was relying on that big impact font for a lot of help there. Definitely.
I just love it. It's the easiest part of the date is the one that you keep screwing up.
Exactly. Yes. That's the part I dedicate the least amount of brain power to. It's like the year. That's the easiest one. I don't even have to think about that. And so I was saying the wrong year too much. Yeah. I don't know. How are you doing, Tam? You ready for your Dregs Day?
I'm ready for Dregs Day. I'm a little tired, if I'm honest. I haven't been sleeping well, but I'm ready. I'll do it. I just downloaded BattleBit for later. I'm excited to play that video game with you guys. No, I'm good.
Okay. He's holding it together, everybody. He's holding it together. It's all good. We're all good.
I'm fine.
It's all a beautiful thing over here.
How are you, Jeff? I feel like not enough people ask you how you are.
I'm good. I'm also pretty tired. Also not sleeping well. Also kind of like, hey, we'll get through today and then try to take it easy a little bit. But yeah, no, I'm pretty good. I got cleaners, and I forgot that they come every 2 weeks for a little bit, and the first time it happened was 2 weeks ago, so they're coming again today. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of stressful. I know,
but like you always feel real good afterwards.
Yes,
right?
exactly. Right.
I never use cleaners. Like obviously, I always felt like it was too much. Like it felt like a very rich person thing.
It does feel. Yes, it feels like a waste of resources.
Yeah, and then I used them once. I think it was cleaners and movers separately, and I was like, "This is incredible."
Yeah.
And the thing I realized was like, there are people that are cleaners. They need work. So just
exactly.
give them the work.
And it's
I generally am pretty clean as a person. Like I always clean up after myself to the point where it's not like I'll just washing dishes. I always wash the dishes immediately. Like even if it's one dish, it's never there. But I'll do things like I'll walk into a room and on the way out, like to go and get a glass of water, I'll clean things in my way. So I'm like cleaning the surfaces. So generally I'm okay. I think it's OCD or ADHD. Definitely is ADHD because I think meds for that. But it reaches a point where incremental cleaning is not enough, and you need a deep clean. Like you need someone to come in and just I don't have it in me to do it to that level, or I don't have the time. So you need someone to come in and just be like, I'm going to clean this shit out of everything here.
Yes,
it's great.
That's exactly what it is. We were trying to keep things in order a little bit better, but having someone come in and like get us back to a base level of everything that you missed is clean is much better. So
I love washing dishes. That's weirdly, I'm super into washing dishes. I find it really like zen and like it makes it's decent.
Listen to like ASMR videos while you do it, or what?
Yeah, I'm listening to podcasts, not like ASMR videos. Yeah. So I'll be listening to something and just nicely like having a nice time, clean. Sometimes I'll go to other people's like places and hang out, and like I'll see like they've got a sink full of dishes. And I'm like, hey man,
here we fucking go.
Is it cool if I wash those dishes?
Yes.
Sure.
Sure. I guess we'll see Tam in a bit. That's fantastic. I could see like, hey, we hanging out to some place. You're like, yeah, I'll just take care of these dishes real quick, and you feel real good afterward. Yeah, I bet that's nice.
I feel so good. It also gives me an excuse, like when I'm in a social scenario and people may not know this, but I'm very introverted and I need a lot of space. Like,
exactly.
If I'm in a social scenario and I feel
recharge.
like, I can go there and give myself a little recharge. I'll be like, I'm just going to watch this, pop on a podcast, watch it, and then clean the apartment a bit for my friends, and then come back.
I like that strategy. I'm going to employ that as well.
Good.
That's great.
Good.
All right, let's get into this mess. But before we do, let's explain what we do here. Most weekdays, I, Jeff Grubb, will help piece your gaming life back together. That includes breaking news and maybe even some of our own original reporting. For all these topics, I'll get the input of a bona fide expert who will make me look smart. If you are watching live on Twitch, welcome. You can always listen to the show later on podcast feeds by searching for Game Mess Mornings or find the RSS on giantbomb.com. You can also catch the show later with chapters and timestamps on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Okay, we have a lot to get into, so let's start the morning mess with Street Fighter 6 has sold more than 2 million copies. This comes from Eric Hittelback-Furu at Game Reactor. Last month, we learned that Street Fighter 6 only needed 3 days to sell more than 1 million copies, and it didn't stop there. Capcom says Street Fighter 6 now has surpassed 2 million copies sold. Not exactly record-breaking numbers for the series, but probably enough to at least please the Japanese company. What do you think about 2 million? I think that's pretty good. I don't know if it's...
I think that's...
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's, like you were about to say, pretty good. Not amazing.
That's where it's hard to tell, but not amazing, but pretty good.
But, like, it's... Obviously, Street Fighter 5, I think, was... I think it sold, like, 6 or 7 million, something like that.
I looked it up last night when this news broke. It's about 7 million-ish.
Yes. Yeah, and that was like as of like 2023, 2022.
Yeah.
The target was like 10 million for that game at some point.
Mm-hmm. And it is for this game as well. 10 million is the target they said before.
Yeah, I think Street Fighter 5 had a slower start. So I think this long-term tracks more favorably for Street Fighter 6. Because it also means foundationally, like the game is very, very strong. And it means that going forward, when characters are released and major updates are done, there will be more of a bump in performance. Obviously, it's diminishing returns with these kind of things where the more, also fighting games as a genre is still a bit of a niche. But the longer it's out there, the less people are going to be buying it, but still, like, it's the fact that it's on such a good trajectory is really, really good for it. And also it's important to remember, like, fighting games don't sell crazy amounts,
right?
Like, they're not like an Uncharted or they're not like a Last of Us where everyone is like excited and like is going to definitely buy them. These are still, like I said, niches, and people generally will like, I might give this a try. I feel like I would describe them as more like sports games in interest, not necessarily in performance.
Yeah, that's fair, and I think that the we've seen Mortal Kombat 11 do very, very well, and Super Smash Brothers, but those are the exceptions to a fighting game space that typically, it's not going to be anywhere near 10 million copies sold. So if they're on the trajectory to get there with this game, starting up at 2 million and expecting long legs for this game, which I think they are. And I think that's fair, and it probably will. Obviously, I think 5 even had pretty long legs for a game that got off to a slower start, like you said. So, yeah, I think they probably are pretty happy with this.
Yeah, and it's also good going into kind of major events like EVO. Street Fighter 5 hasn't had a major event. Street Fighter 6 hasn't had a major event that is also capable of breaking into mainstream. And I know there have been tournaments and like events, Red Bull Kumite and various other ones up until that point. But EVO is one that is kind of like, it breaks into the mainstream a little bit, and it kind of commands attention from the wider gaming kind of audiences. People who don't usually pay attention to the Street Fighter or fighting game world suddenly will be paying attention because this is the Super Bowl of fighting games. And there's a good chance, like, and history shows that sometimes people will watch the event and be like, that game looks fun, I'm going to buy it. So there'll definitely be a little bit of a bump from EVO, I imagine, too, as well, especially given how popular the game already is amongst pro players.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly right. And I think the snowball effect that you're sort of describing there is going to be pretty powerful for the game uh, as new things happen and these big events happen and people show off like what's possible and those moments go viral or whatever. And also as they add new characters like Rashid, who is making his Street Fighter 6 debut on July 24th. This comes from Tiago Manuel at Destructoid. Rashid is the first DLC addition to the game, and you could pick him up through the Year 1 Character Pass. If you got the Deluxe or Ultimate Edition, you're already set. Additionally, a special Rashid Arrives Fighting Pass will be added that has a rental fighter ticket, which will let you try out Rashid for an hour. That seems like a fair amount of time to get used to the character. Yeah. Rashid's Fighting Pass will also bring lots of other goodies, such as gear for your avatar, a new emote, a new music, a photo border, in-game cell phone wallpaper, stickers, and even title art. Everyone hated Street Fighter V for its absurd reliance on microtransactions, so players might be happy that they can get some rewards for free this time around. Maybe, we'll see. Fighting games can get pretty expensive as you try to keep up with all these characters. But hey, Rashid, I'm very excited about this. I never played Rashid, but I loved watching him in tournaments like EVO. Some top-tier Rashid players were just incredible with that character, so I'm very excited about this.
Yeah, Rashid he's a streamer now, which is weird.
That is very weird. Yes, that is his character.
I just hate streamer characters and everything. But like Rashid is also very charismatic and fun. He's always like upbeat and like energetic, which it pairs well with the streamer vibe where there's bits so it's like, hey, welcome to the stream, and then the fight begins and you're like, whoa, what's going on here? But yeah, he looks really interesting. This is going to be a major moment for Street Fighter 6 because it is the first DLC character, so we're going to get a good kind of bit of insight into how Capcom is going to approach balancing, where they're at with balancing. Obviously, a new character being added to a complicated game like this is never going to be perfect from the outset.
That's right.
But we'll get to see the kind of strategy here for quickly updating or like how they intend to kind of respond to the kind of demands or the learnings from the industry.
What was it was a Borderlands 3 or whatever that had the main enemies were streamers? I'm trying to place them. Like I know there's been a couple of games that have done that, and I know Dead Island 2 recently had an early part where you go to a streamer's house, and that was actually pretty good. They did some good jokes with that. Borderlands 3. Okay,
Borderlands I think it 3. Was Borderlands. Oh yeah. The two main characters,
twins.
The
twins.
Whatever they. God, that game was insufferable.
Yeah, I never.
God, really sometimes I think I played it on in co-op with Lucy and some other friends, and oh my God, it's just so annoying. It was one of the most annoying games I've ever played in my life. Like, I don't mean to be rude, but like that writing. Oh God, I was just like, oh fuck it, It is like I was like I turned the audio down. Like I'd never turned the dialogue off in a fucking video game before. But I was like, you gotta go.
That's one of the reasons. So I'm like, that game. I love Borderlands 1, and I'm like, I'll get back to Borderlands 3 now. It's been enough time, and then that stuff was off-putting enough that I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna get into it. So I passed on it. Yeah. Streamer, like pulling off streamer characters, it always seems like that'd be really difficult and really annoying. But Rashid looks good. I've seen some other people do it pretty well. Maybe Borderlands 3 was just a really bad exception. All right, let's move on here. Yuji Naka gets a $1.2 million fine and a suspended prison sentence for insider trading. This comes from Chris Scullion at VGC. As reported by Japanese news agency GG Press, the Tokyo District Court ruled that Naka had violated Japan's Financial Instruments and Exchange Act by illegally buying shares based on insider information. The judge in that case sentenced Naka to 30 months in prison, suspended for 4 years. This means Naka will escape a prison term as long as he adheres to the conditions set by the order and doesn't infringe on any any further terms or laws during this time. So basically, like he could get 2.5 years in prison if he violates what is essentially his parole during this 4-year period is how I'm reading this, and that sounds right. That's pretty common for something like this. So that 2.5 years is just sitting there waiting for him if he screws up again.
Yeah, I mean, it does. If I was the judge, I would have said one of your potential kind of trip ups if you do this that will land you in jails if you try and make a Balan Wonderland 2.
That's exactly right.
If you at any point say the words Balan Wonderland 2, you're going to jail. I will put you in jail.
Yes.
Yeah. Do not do this.
Like in Hackers, it's like you're not even allowed to touch a computer for a decade. We don't want you anywhere where you could possibly program it like on accident.
Yeah, he's got like a one of those kind of things that go on your foot to make sure that you don't go anywhere. But it's only listening to whether he's saying the word Balan Wonderworld.
Right. It's listening Wonderland, for modem dial-up sounds, and if it hears that, it blows off. It blows up and blows off his foot.
It just like takes him out. It's like, I can't be doing this. I mean, like also like it's like why is this white collar crime? This is white collar crime.
This is white collar crime. Yes, that's where it's not a violent crime, but something done in an office behind the scenes, kind of dubiously. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't really care, man. Like this is one of those crimes where it's like it doesn't affect me. It's just someone trying to get money from someone else, and like as long as it's not normal people getting hurt by it, I don't give a shit. Like it seems like a very appropriate sentence for him. Like give up $1.2 million. I don't know if Yuji Naka has $1.2 million, but you would guess the dude behind Sonic would. But you never know.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a question that we have on this show where it's like, how rich is a very successful video game developer? But and the money that he was throwing around in these schemes. It did seem like, he must have a lot of money on the side, because there was like one of them wasn't a ton, it was like $20,000, but there was one where he spent like $100,000 or $200,000 just on buying shares in a company that he was insider trading on.
I would have, if someone asked me, do you think like the creator of Sonic is super rich? I would have said no.
Yeah,
because
I don't know.
Character, was created at a time where it was like, you have no presence and no value. Just make this fucking hedgehog game that you came up with. We own all of it. Get to work. It feels like the kind of like the age of the ownership auteur kind of came much later. I think like the exception is if you also parlay that into becoming an executive or like a key creative figure in a company. Like Miyamoto is like created Mario.
Definitely.
I would never say Miyamoto is probably like struggling right now, or was struggling in the 90s. Like he's very quickly, they were like, okay, this guy's important. Let's push him up the chain. I don't think Yuji Naka was pretty high at Sega at one point, but I don't know where, I don't know how much he earned from that. But yeah, I would be, he's currently dealing with a big chunks of money, as you said. He's like doing shit with massive sums of money. So presumably he has that money, or like, damn, unlucky, bro.
Yep. I'm sure that he probably is going to be pretty wiped out by this. $1.2 million feels like. Yeah, go ahead.
I want someone in the community to take that animation of Sonic running into an enemy and the rings coming out of him, but put Yuji Naka's face on Sonic and just have that animation.
Yep, perfect.
Just post that.
And that's right. And as long as he still has $1, you can't kill him.
Yeah, you can't kill him. Yeah, exactly.
So he's fine. He's totally good. He's gonna have at least $1 in there. This is the end of the saga. It seems like he did plead guilty in March. That's probably why they commuted the sentence, or suspended it for now. But again, he's probably not going to mess up again and have to actually go to prison. It's just very funny, the idea that he's got a prison sentence hanging over his head as the creator of Sonic and Balan Wonderworld. All right, I'm mostly with you where you said like, I don't care. Yeah, no, it's.
Okay. Also, like, they did some other stuff as well. Let's just not go Sonic and Balan Wonderworld. He's made some other games in between that are like not as like. It makes it sound like he went from doing an amazing thing to like just dog shit immediately.
He made Knights, which is also
he made Knights, which is good. He done like a bunch of other Sonic games. He worked on Phantasy Star. He worked on Choo Choo Rocket. Like he's done some other stuff. Outrun. He's done some other stuff in between. Okay, let's just cut this man some slack.
He's a criminal. He deserves to be in prison.
He's a criminal. He deserves to only be associated with that.
I've seen what what he's capable of. All right, nice. Let's get back onto this next story. Number one. $1 Xbox Game Pass Ultimate deal is back with some changes. This comes from Darren.
Stay away from it, Yuji Naka. You need that $1.
Yeah,
don't do it.
You don't. I know it's tempting. All those games.
Keep that $1. Otherwise, you will be very vulnerable.
Xbox Game Pass is officially a little bit more expensive as of this week. This is when the price increase actually it just happened yesterday. So now Xbox Game Pass costs more in most territories. But for anyone looking to grab a killer deal on Microsoft service, you can once again get a month of Game Pass Ultimate or PC Game Pass for a single $1 if you're a new subscriber. This $1 deal previously also included Xbox Game Pass for console, but your only options now are PC Game Pass and the more expensive Game Pass Ultimate. So after your first month for $1, your subscription will revert to the standard pricing. On PC Game Pass, that's $10 per month, and then for Game Pass Ultimate, that's $17 per month. This is something that went away a few months ago, Tam. I remember we talked about it. It's like, hey, that dollar deal went away. Clearly now it's like they were trying to figure out their pricing, roll that out, and now they reintroduced it now that people can't just all hop on it at once.
There was that one time where it broke and you could do it even if you were an existing subscriber. Yes. And I was like, 5 years, baby, let's go. And now it's like I'm reaching the end of I think I got it for like 8 years or something like that. It was the max that you could do for like that. And then now I'm reaching the end of it or something.
You must have done it in like really early days. Okay, yeah.
It's when it first came out. It like was bugged in the UK, and I was like, forever. Like, you'll never get me.
Because I got mine a couple years ago where I stacked like 2 or 3 years, and I also am at the end of mine now. So it's I'm paying for it. I think I might cancel for $17 per month because that got me thinking about how much I'm actually using it. But we'll see if I actually follow through on that or not. You know me.
Yeah, I don't use it as much as I would like to. It's weird. Like it's reached the point where you just take it for granted. Where you're like, oh, I've got all those free games. I'll get to it. I'll play those eventually. You keep forgetting that you're paying an active subscription. That maybe one day you might be like, I don't want to pay any more money for this. So I should play it more. I should use it more. It's the best deal in gaming that I never use, but I still pay for.
I did use it recently just because of the Asus ROG Ally. And playing the Xbox games on there, and that was pretty cool. So, but you're right, I don't use it nearly as much. To make it make sense for $17 per month, it doesn't make very much sense. Although I am canceling this $70 per month for YouTube TV, and I basically use that to watch hockey during the hockey season and some stuff. But I'm like, now it just sits there, and I have all these cable channels, and that's a lot of money. So I think they raised the price on that as well. So I'm gonna have
to subscribe to YouTube TV soon when the basketball season starts again. Because I am now a basketball fan, it seems.
Yeah, and I'm worried about it because the regional sports networks are imploding, and for the last 2 years, I watched basically every game. Most games that weren't on YouTube TV were on Disney Plus or like the package with Hulu and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And now those regional sports networks are going away. I'm like, are they still going to have all those games? It was like I got really used to it, so I hope we still end up getting that.
Sports broadcasting is a fucking racket in this company. It's insane.
Yep, it's completely fallen apart. ESPN Plus, DJ T Money, yes, that's part of that. And it's like it was for the first time in my life. I'm like, oh, this makes sense, and I can get all my Red Wings games because I don't live in Detroit, so I'm out of market. They're gonna give it to me for pretty cheap, and it's like trying to figure that out going forward. It's gonna be a nightmare. Anyway, $1 Xbox Game Pass Ultimate deal is back, and you can get on that now. Next story, Sega bends blockchain plans, calls free-to-play games boring. This was from Luke Plunkett at Kotaku. In April 2021, at the height of the Web3 mania, Sega was one of the biggest companies to pledge its future to the scam that was play to earn. Now, just 2 years later, and after the ass that has completely fallen off of that market, Sega has had a change of heart. As we wrote at the time in a story with the headline, Sega wants to sell NFTs, can fuck right off. Sega Japan announced earlier today that it will be getting into the NFT business, partnering with and buying a stake in a company called Double Jump Tokyo, with plans to not only sell character-related tokens, but NFTs in future games as well. Those plans are now mostly done for. In an interview with Bloomberg, Sega's co-chief operating officer, Shuji Utsumi, has said the company will now withhold its biggest franchises from third-party blockchain gaming projects to avoid devaluing its content, and will also be shelving plans to develop its own games in that genre, at least for now. We're looking into whether this technology is really going to take off in this industry after all. Spoiler, it's not.
It's not.
Utsumi told the site, adding that while its biggest franchises are off the table, lesser-known properties like Three Kingdoms and Virtua Fighter, fuck you! Sorry. We'll see. We'll be seeing some NFT tie-ins, albeit from third-party providers. How dare you treat Virtua Fighter that way?
That's rough, man.
Yeah, that's messed up. Hey, surprised that we're here, Tam. NFTs were never a thing. The companies that like invested in this are like, why'd we do this? How did we end up here? Why am I holding this thing?
This is embarrassing for Sega and any other company who does this, and we should make sure that they remember that how embarrassing this is.
Oh, they won't.
Because like literally everyone was like, this is dumb, don't do this. And they were like, this is the future. And they were like, no, it's not. Please stop this. And now they're like, it's not the future. So, oh God. It couldn't be more clear how like one, these corporations just don't give a fuck. Like they'll just jump on any bandwagon that seems like it's going on a smooth path to somewhere nice. And two, they're just like fucking moronic, and they won't listen to like people or the actual people who play and buy the games when they're like, this is not good. Like, who was this for? This wasn't a decision made for their customers, right?
No.
Like at any point, I just cannot believe that they like looked at their market and did all the work and were like, they want this. We got to give them this, which you would imagine is a fundamental of business when you are making products that are entertaining people. This was done purely for the gains that were like, on paper, everyone's into this dumb thing. If you get involved right now, you can pump and dump, or you can just say that you're involved in this thing and it improves your stock performances or whatever. And that is like it's like a cynical approach to conducting business and representing your company. That I right now, I'm just like, I think we should remind people, or keep reminding people of this shit, and not hold them accountable, but be like, remember when you did this? Like any time, the next time Sega does something stupid like this, if you're in an interview, if I'm in an interview, I'm just going to be like, how is this any different from NFTs? How is this any different from blockchain? Like, how is this any? Because you did that, and you said you were definitely into that. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, you put money into it. Like, you made investments.
Yeah, you put money into it. Like Ubisoft is still doing it. I'm waiting for the day Ubisoft is like, yeah, we fucked up, man. And I'm just gonna be like, don't forget this, okay? I'm just gonna write it down and just hold it on a big piece of paper and be like, remember when you did this shit and no one wanted it, but you still did it? Insulting.
Yeah, and it's especially questionable because there was nothing ever real here, and it was obvious to almost everybody, and the only people it wasn't obvious to were these like CMOs and these COOs. The reason it pissed me off was it was all smoke and mirrors, right? It was all people saying this thing is important to create the idea it was important. And the reason it annoys me is that these corporations had a role in making that seem like it's legitimizing it. In legitimizing, they came along, they were like, Ubisoft was like, we think this is the future. It was not. It never would be. But the fact that Ubisoft rolls up and throws their weight behind it makes people who aren't as discerning think, oh, this is a good thing. This is a good deal. Like Ubisoft wouldn't get involved, or Sega wouldn't get involved unless it was a real big deal and like it's important. And they became part of, there was no difference between these gaming companies and the dickhead on Twitter with his fucking annoying NFT display picture that is constantly spamming, hey, this project seems cool, you should get involved. And like you're the same now. And those dudes suck, which means by extension you suck. And we're going to remember that. Yep. And it's we said at the time we had a million questions and about this stuff, like, and really the simple one was, what is this going to accomplish that we can't do already? And they never, ever, ever had an answer to that. They just said, oh, well, don't doubt the technology. We'll come up with something eventually. It's like mobile gaming. Everyone doubted mobile gaming. Now look at it. It's like, well, homie, it's not like that at all. Yes. We can clearly see it's not. I mean, the wildest thing I heard this week was the stories about how much money is being spent on the metaverse. And there was one story that claimed, and I think this is true, but I don't know exactly if it is, that Facebook's metaverse thing that they have, over the course of an entire month, only $475 were spent on that platform by consumers. That not 475,000, not 475 million, $475.
Hell yeah!
That is There literally, when we had Mike Minotti take his money out of his wallet at the Summer Game Fest, he had more money than that. Like on him in LA. That is crazy. And it's like
that makes me horny.
Exactly.
That level of failure makes me horny.
Yes.
Like that is what I'm about. That my kink is seeing tech executives fucking fail.
They
like,
renamed their company Meta.
Yeah. Oh god, it's like we gotta stop talking about this. I might.
Yeah, sure. I understand. Yes, let's save it. Right. Let's at least buy you dinner first for sure. Okay, but Peter Molyneux says next game includes something no game before it has ever had. This comes from Eddie McCoo at GameSpot. Peter Molyneux, the famed video game designer known for his work on the Fable series and making bold claims about his projects, has begun to tease his next game. Speaking to Game Reactor, Molyneux said his next game has a mechanic that has never been seen in a game before.
Yes, he's back.
He's doing it, everybody.
He's back.
He's doing it. I can't believe we're here. Oh my God,
so
I've waited
happy,
so long to
man.
hear this. Now here we are. Here's the quote. I feel like we are exploiting that mechanic in a world and in an environment which may be familiar to people. And because it is in a familiar environment, it'll be a lot fresher, Molyneux said. And a lot of this is very mystical because I'm trying to avoid to tell you what it's like, but it's going to be a lot more like a kind of Fable, black and white, dungeon keeper kind of experience.
Oh my God.
He is just jazzing. He is riffing.
Genuinely, I have genuinely missed this.
Me too.
Like I have genuinely missed this because this is like, it comes from a person who, by all accounts, I've like spoken to him a couple times. I know people. He's the nicest man.
Oh, of course,
like,
yeah.
He's so nice. He's so nice, and like it's like when the elder in your family is like, why don't they do this? And it's clearly a dumb idea.
Yes,
but like this guy has got enough money and clout to be like, I'm gonna do it. And you know what? It's always a weird, interesting idea. Sometimes it fails, sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes it when it doesn't, it's like it will change things and it'll be really cool. I'm just glad that we need a Willy Wonka in this industry.
Yes.
And Peter Molyneux is the Willy Wonka of the video game industry. And I'm glad that he's back. Okay. I'm glad that he's here. He's like, I'm doing shit that you. And you know what it's going to be? It's going to be something that is very normal by the end of it. He's going to be like, I've got a game here about blowing into your microphone. And we're going to be like, okay.
Yep. It is almost certainly going to be along those lines where it's actually pretty disappointing. But what's the harm? Yeah, a guy comes out and tells you some sweet little lies. I will
take Peter Molyneux's sweet little lies that maybe materialize into something interesting or cool than all these corporations being like, we've figured out blockchain every day of the week. This is the kind of like nonsense that I am very on board with. And like I said, his hit rate ain't that bad. Like he does do cool shit. And like, if not like wildly successful, the entire thing, there'll be something in there that you'd be like, that was really cool. Like that was interesting. I like that.
Yep, and and really his sin is just like he just has big ideas and just he's not afraid to talk about them, and I'm kind of glad he still talks about them. That's nice.
Peter, I'm glad you're back. Okay,
Me too.
I hope you've been having a good time wherever you've been. I hope you've been chilling. I hope you've had a good relaxing life thus far. Post being in the public limelight, I'm very happy you have returned. I'm excited to see what you've got cooking, and I hope that it works out.
Yeah,
good luck.
I'm like, is he still working on this as like an independent studio? 22 Cans. I think he left 22 Cans, right? That was the one he made Curiosity with.
Yeah,
Curiosity. Yeah. What's inside the cube is actually the full name of that game. And I tapped on that cube a whole bunch of times. Yeah. But I think he's on his own now. I'm not sure exactly. It's it's hard for me to keep track of all that stuff. Real quick though, so it'll be Fable, black and white dungeon keeper kind of experience. Do you think he's just trying to say it'll be a bigger game, or instead of like Curiosity, which was a smaller mobile thing, or do you take some more info from that, like, oh, it's going to be a real-time strategy god game or something?
Man, it could be anything. Like it could be like a small game. It could be like, oh, I'm creating World of Warcraft 2. And we had like no idea. I think what he's saying is, I think it's going to be bigger than Curiosity for sure.
Yeah.
And I think it's like on paper, the thing that he'll make is going to be like a the size of Fable at most, but it will have like a weird idea powering it. Remember a time when the biggest thing was like, this game's got a dog in it,
Yeah.
and the dog will lead you things, and like people were like, holy shit, there's a dog, and now every fucking game has a dog in it.
Yep,
It's
and
like
every game's got a million things that are like trying to communicate with you. Yeah.
Yeah, Peter Molyneux innovated in the dog realm, okay, in games. You would not have Torgal in Final Fantasy if Peter Molyneux didn't make Fable Dog. Okay.
Peter Molyneux got that dog in him, and he puts it in his games.
He's got the dog, and he's at it.
Curiosity, I do remember though, that did have like that weird thing where someone was the last person to click on the cube and unlocked it, and then they were supposed to like get a cash prize, and then they were going to decide like what their next game was, and apparently that stuff didn't go very well. Big surprise there that trying to make a weird little contest in your game is actually a bad idea.
True.
All right, next story. Helldivers 2 keeps friendly fire on even with destructive new weapons. This comes from Grace Benfeld at GameSpot. Helldivers 2 got a new trailer, and it outlines how co-op works in the tactical shooter sequel, including new and returning stratagems and friendly fire. You can equip stratagems to drop resupply caches, powerful weapons, one-time attacks, and helpful aims like a Gatling sentry gun. You can also customize your armor with heavier builds, letting you soak up damage and resist elemental attacks, and lighter ones, letting you to move more quickly with less chance of enemy detection. This trailer's pretty good. I'm like much more into Helldivers now that we played a little bit of it, Tam. And I'm very relieved to hear that they are keeping the game sort of its spirit intact with like, hey, that friendly fire is happening, and it's not just with guns. It is, you could drop things from the sky, and if people don't get out of the way, they're gonna die. I think that is key. Obviously, it's key to Helldivers. It doesn't seem like they're trying to make it more friendly to people. It seems like they're going to keep it pretty wild, and anything can happen. And then the way that they make up for that is exactly what we experienced. You're back in the fight pretty quickly afterwards, and it was a funny moment, and now you can move on. I think this game's looking pretty promising, though. The bringing it down to third-person perspective. It looks like Helldivers, but more expensive, and that's probably a strong chance that that's really going to click with a lot of people. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I love the third-person perspective shift. That looks like it's going to be really cool, and I am excited for this game. I wasn't before we played it, but now I'm all about saving Super Earth and fighting for the glory of Super Earth. I'm into it. It seems like they know what they're doing, which is. It's not a thing that, it sounds mildly like offensive to be like, it looks like they know what they're doing, implying that they didn't know what they were doing previously, but like they definitely did. I think that more appropriately, they know what made Helldivers 1 fun, and they're not messing with that by the looks of it. And they just like, they figured it out, and they are refining and iterating, which is, a good like place to be, and it's exciting for us as people who are now interested in the games to be like, oh, there's a new version of this coming out. It's prettier. It looks like it's going to be more fun, and you can probably run yourself over, which is exciting.
Yes, exactly. Yes, I like games where just about anything can happen, and it's you come out with a fun story. The video clip of Mike getting crushed because he didn't know that the light meant that something was going to fall from the sky. Like, I'm never going to forget that. That's great. That was like a really fun moment. And games that can provide that are what I'm looking for. And this game looks like it's gonna nail a lot of that. I'm like super into the tone now, realizing that they really are just straight up going for Starship Troopers and things like that, and the spread democracy chant as you're just going there and destroying millions of alien bugs. Like, what does this have to do with democracy? Nothing. That's just what these soldiers yell, and that's what gets them pumped up to go, getting their bloodlust. And I'm like, okay, I like that.
Yeah, I'm into it. I like it. I'm excited for Helldivers 2. Is it going to be a PlayStation Plus thing?
I wonder if it's a PlayStation Plus
because it is a PlayStation Studios game, right?
I think, is it a PlayStation? It might be. I honestly don't know. Or is it like a third-party studio that's like working with Sony? Because it's PC and PlayStation 5 when it launches. So I'm scroll down here and see what this says.
Helldivers 1 was definitely PlayStation aligned. So
yes, it was definitely aligned. Yes, I remember that.
It's got a PlayStation. The trailer's got a PlayStation Studios logo on it.
Okay, yeah, so. I bet PlayStation is very involved at the very least. I just wonder if it's like SIE or something. I do not know that. All right, let's get to this last story here. It is 2023. Please stop blowing into Nintendo consoles. This is from
Never.
Luke Plunkett at Kotaku. Yeah, you have to pry that system away from my wet, juicy lips. Yeah, it's cute. It's folklore, but people used to blow into the cartridge slots of their Nintendo games in the olden days if they were having hardware issues. The thing is, it was all bullshit. It didn't fix them. If anything, it made things worse. Yet, so strong was the urban legend, as the urban legend has become in the year of our Lord 2023, enough folks are still blowing into their Switch that Nintendo has felt the need to warn them against it. In a tweet posted by the company's Japanese support page, Nintendo says, in the game card slot, there is a terminal to read the game card. If you clean this with a cotton swab or insert a game card with a broken terminal, it may get caught in the terminal and break. Please do not touch the inside of the game card slot. If dust gets inside the game card slot, use a vacuum cleaner to suck it out. Please do not blow on it. Saliva may adhere to the terminals and cause parts to rust or corrode. That's
How are people blowing into that? It's like a tiny little thing.
I don't. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah,
what the fuck is going on?
That little phone that Will Ferrell has on SNL runs you just like that. Like, just take it in there and just gently.
That's wild.
Yeah,
like I thought.
So
I did not read this story. I thought the story was going to be, hey, it's 2023. Please stop blowing into your classic game cartridges.
Right.
Like I know
you should at this point definitely don't do that either.
Don't do that. Yeah. You've got a Krusty Super Funhouse on Super Nintendo. Do not blow into that cartridge. It will break Krusty Super Funhouse.
Yes, leave those things alone, please.
I did not expect it was going to be like, hey, stop blowing into your Nintendo Switch. The fuck.
Yeah, it's you're right. I'd like how. It would not occur to me to blow in there, but if I saw dust, I'd be like, I would just get tweezers and pull it out or something like that. Although it sounds like maybe we shouldn't do that either because the terminals are very sensitive.
I just cannot imagine how dust gets like and enough of a buildup of dust is in your cartridge slot that it's become a problem. Like, it's minuscule. You open it for like half a second to something and then close it.
And I guess like kids probably rip those things off or whatever, and so they have exposed cartridge slots. But nah, come on, like
just don't. Someone in the chat said compressed air. Probably not a good idea to use compressed air either, because I think like if you use enough compressed air in a small space, it might add moisture again. So
yeah, I wonder if like in the temperature differences could cause condensation.
Yes. Yeah, condensation. Yeah.
Vacuum cleaner seems
don't blow.
Yeah.
Suck.
Don't blow, suck. It's the Giant Bomb motto, everybody.
Yeah.
You know it, and that's how you keep your games happy and clean. All right. I have the poll question from yesterday. Let me get this set up properly.
I don't want to alarm you, Jeff, but we still have 16 minutes left in the show.
We'll just kind of take it easy here. If it's Dredge Day.
Let's just hang out.
Yeah,
it's Dredge Day. This is what we do.
Yeah,
let's just answer some questions from the chat. Chat, you got any questions? Ask us about. Ask us any AMA.
That's a good idea.
Me up. What do you want to know?
Add us. There we go. Do Grubb Snacks questions. If I still had the musical cue, I would play it, but I don't. Everybody, are you going to keep your Xbox Game Pass subscription after the price increase? 50% say yes. 32% say no. 18% say I already locked in a year plus at the old price. Smart people there. I think I am. I clicked yes here on my own poll. I think I'm probably actually going to end up keeping it. I think we'll see.
Wow, that didn't take long for you to.
I know.
Switch that one up.
Exactly right. This is where I'm at. I need to cancel my Fortnite subscription first. I need to build up, and if I could do that, then maybe I'll have the strength. Until then,
subscription.
I don't listen. Yeah, a couple months ago we were playing a lot of Fortnite, and I ended up
getting. What do you mean subscription? Don't you just buy a battle pass and then keep it moving?
So there's a subscription called Fortnite Fun Club. What's it called, everybody? And it's basically it gets you the battle pass every month and some extra in-game V-Bucks.
Oh mate, you got
Fortnite crew. Yes, exactly.
You've been suckered.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And I've had this for months now, and I've not booted up Fortnite in months. So. Yes, I need to get rid of that thing. So if I can do that, if I have the strength to do that, then we'll take another look at Xbox Game Pass. Until then,
here's what you do: you give your partner access to the subscription list, and
I can't do
just let them take care of it.
Oh my gosh, she can't see that. She can't see what I've done.
It will be ruthless, and it will hurt. But by the time you're done, you will feel better.
I can't face that. That's like a very personal. Truebill before it was whoever bought it or whatever. Yeah, I'll have my wife Truebill me, and then they put it. I can't face that reality, Tam. That's listen. I'm gonna cancel YouTube TV. That's $75 right there, and then that's enough. That's like, oh, that's a big win right there. It's one big win, and then I'm not gonna think about this.
That is a chunky bit of subscription money.
All right, there is some questions coming in here from Always Be Clothing Grubb. Why haven't you canceled the Fortnite Monthly Club? It's like a few clicks in the game. I'm a bad person. What can I say? Listen, I'll do it today.
Hey, Jeff, do it now.
Okay,
do it now.
I'll do it now. I'm
Fire it up.
All right, here we go.
I'm holding you accountable.
Fortnite.
Fire up.
I don't even know if I have Fortnite installed on this new computer since we got it, but I wonder if I can.
You can do it on a browser.
I can do it on a browser.
I'm sure you can do it on a browser.
All right, let's go. All right.
Okay, you know what? While you're at it, just cancel the YouTube right now.
Fortnite crew. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Monthly subscription. I can sign in here. Oh,
I've been looking. I'm currently looking on the Vans website for hats because I need a new hat, and they have done a collaboration with the Cookie Monster, which is wild.
Oh, they have? What's it look like?
Yeah, it's just it's one of those classic collaborations where it's just here's the fucking picture of the Cookie Monster.
Okay,
that's it.
Cool. That's fair. What do you look for in a new hat?
I don't generally buy hats. Like I've had this Vans one for maybe like 10 years. And it's just very sturdy and it's very nice. I love it. It's when I usually wear it when I'm like my hair's wiling out and I cannot be bothered to look at it. I'm just gonna put this hat on, or if it's like hot or something like that, and I don't want to get extra hot because of my hair, I'll just wear it. I do have a bunch of baseball caps. I've got some that are like just kind of fun ones. I've got one that has a Squirtle, gang leader Squirtle on it. Which is nice. I've got a Gengar hat. I buy a lot of bootleg hats where it's like, here's the From Software logo on a hat. It's not official, but it looks nice. And yeah, you guys. I guess you guys call it dad hats here, or baseball caps is what I thought they were called.
Well, they could be different. Dad hats are the flimsy ones. They don't have a lot of structural integrity. They're cheaper. They're the ones you just put on and like you're gonna go out and you're gonna work in the garden and you're gonna sweat in them. And you just throw them on. Those are dad hats.
Oh,
baseball caps can be snapbacks, and they're usually a lot more expensive, and they're like fashionable. And where the dad hat is kind of like you could throw it on no matter what. You're going to the beach, whatever.
Good to know, because I kept buying hats and realizing like, why are these all flimsy? Why does America make flimsy baseball caps?
That's the dad hat. Yes, that's 100% the dad hat.
I've been buying dad hats.
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah, and listen, dad hats have their purpose, but you only need one dad hat.
You only really need one of those.
Yeah,
I do have a lot of dad hats.
The good thing about dad hat is like you really can just like fold it up, put it in your back pocket, and like take it out and stuff. It's like and you're not going to be worried about it getting ruined. You can't do that with your hat from Lids at the mall or whatever. I don't know if Lids is still
Lids is still good. No, Lids might be gone. I think Lids is gone. The first time I went to a Lids was in San Francisco, and I've definitely walked past where that Lids was, and I have not seen it, and I've not seen any other Lids around in a long time. I did buy one of those like snapback new era hats once, and I put it on, and I was like, "Why did I buy this, man?"
I've canceled my Fortnite subscription, and I've got breaking news.
Yeah,
breaking news here. This comes from Jan Ochoa, who says, "I also canceled my Fortnite crew subscription. We are making moves today, everybody. Let's fucking
saving money." Saving money. If you're out there and you have a subscription, now's the time to do it. If you want to cancel it, if you've been thinking about canceling it, do it now. Everyone's doing it.
Momentum. Let's go to tv.youtube.com and
yes, Grubb, let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it. Cancel your subscriptions, everyone. Right. I'm the anti fucking subscription guy. Except for like, Game Pass is pretty good. If you like it, keep it.
God, they have a lot of add-ons here that you could subscribe to.
Do not cancel your Giant Bomb subscription.
Right, that one you should keep.
I mean, do what you want.
Hey, finish canceling on Google Play. What the fuck? All right. You know what?
This is how they get you.
Yes.
This is how they get you. They're like, oh, we're going to put this extra step in that is annoying. And most people are like, oh, I can't do this.
Exactly. It's,
don't let them get you, Jeff. Don't let them get you.
I'm here. YouTube TV. Here we go. YT TV. It's weird because it gives you all the steps to go through on the web, and then you get to the last one. It's like, actually, we can't do it here. Finish canceling on Google Play.
There's an actual term for that, right? Where you make something
dark patterns or whatever.
Dark patterns. That's what it is.
Yeah,
that seems like a dark pattern.
Yes. All right. Google Play. I'm in the Play Store.
We did a fucking episode of the Very Online Show about it. How did I forget that? Who knows? You know.
Would you discover any what's a dark pattern that I should watch out for? Man, I got a lot of subscriptions. All right, I got to fix this too.
I think there's been a good campaign of awareness around them, so people are generally a little more savvy to them. So I can't think of. I mean, the one that makes is probably most frequent and is happening right now is where they shove fucking insane information gathering disclosures into the middle of pages long, agreements. Like that's a classic. I think it actually has a term which is called privacy zuckering or something like that, which is specifically evoking Zuckerberg because they do that shit constantly,
right? And
they are currently doing it with threads. Like if you actually read the threads thing, it's like it is gathering a crazy amount of data.
And threads is wild in terms of, and that's not what, but it's it's normal. But it's oh, this is already Zuckerberg being in love with this algorithm. They're not even giving me the option to just get the threads from people I follow. They're like, no, we know better than you. And I hate that shit. I hate it.
Yeah, I think when you sign up, if you look at it properly, it knows your browsing, it also knows your purchasing history, and will keep a track of it. It's like, it's similar to what Instagram does.
Yes.
So it hasn't launched in parts of the world because they're like, no, you fucking don't.
Oh, I didn't realize that. See, Octo says it's not in the EU, and that's for a reason.
Yeah, it's not in Europe. Yeah, I spoke to a friend in Europe, and he was like, we don't have that shit. And I was like, because it is gathering information.
That makes a ton of sense. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. All right, Tam.
Anyways, follow me on Threads.
Were you able to? Do you have your real name? Do you have the name you like to have on Threads? Threads is the one I couldn't get my shit on.
Because it just pulls in from
Instagram.
Instagram, and my Instagram is just my name, Tamoor H. So it's pulled it in. It feels like this one's going to stick.
You think so?
Yeah, I think this one might be the one that sticks.
Okay.
It's not like a complete catastrophe.
Yeah.
And in a world where you kind of need, despite what people say, I need social media to a degree. I need it it has benefits for me, numerous benefits.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I would not have this job if it wasn't for Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. And there are similar things with me. There's people who are very important to me in my life that I never would have met or built a good relationship with if I didn't have a social media network. And if the choice is between this fucking one where they're gathering a bunch of data on me, which everything is doing, and the one where dickhead is opening doors to Nazis and allowing all kinds of crazy shit to be said just unchecked, I'll take the one where I'm giving away a little bit of information or some information that is already available to most people.
Yeah, it's at a certain point, all these platforms suck. I can't worry about what they're doing. I see the one that's going to serve my particular needs, and none of them are doing that anymore. Because even Twitter is kind of just broken on that stuff. So, yep, just
Twitter. If I post anything immediately, I have a naked woman in my mentions.
I had that for a while. Now I have 3 that often show up.
Leave me alone, Rosie.
Yeah, Rosie.
It's always her.
It's fucking Rosie.
It's Rosie. She's
you look very nice, Rosie. It's not about that. I just don't need it. Please.
I don't want it, and I don't need it. I am not feeling frisky. Stop asking me, and I would not. Stop telling me. Fuck off with all these sexy women bots.
Yeah. Twitter became a harem manga or whatever it is. Yeah. And now I'm collecting all these naked women in my replies, and I just don't need it.
The thing about it is, I will block that account, and then she's back with a different account. It's who is this woman?
It's
Where
clearly
is she?
a bot army of some sort, and that's that just makes it depressing. Yeah. If there was a naked lady out there that was working, just hustling, I would respect the hell out of that. But it's a bot army.
I have no issue. If this was an actual woman or like whatever person doing a sex work thing, like good for you, man.
Yes.
But like this is just a robot, and I'm like, does this person know this is happening? Like, is this
Someone's saying
consensual?
it's our rules says it's a service they pay for, which sounds right, but also sounds like maybe it works for them. I don't know. I suppose we're talking about Rosie. Now people are gonna be like, Rosie, let me check the comments on Tam's tweets to see what I can find here.
I think it's like if you literally get more than like 10 likes on a tweet, it's like you're important. I'm gonna start spamming you with fucking titties, and you know what? I don't need it.
Yep.
Not on my social network. No, thank you.
It does get like buried in like the little locked away like phantom
she
zone.
Just sent me another one, literally live on.
Oh, fantastic!
God damn.
All right, Giant Bomb. What do we have happening this week? It's Friday, so what we have happening is Unprofessional Fridays. We're gonna be playing BattleBit Remastered. It'll be fun. It's probably also gonna be a mess. I played some of it last night, and I just got destroyed over and over again. That's what happens to me in Battlefield games. So I'm gonna rely on Tam to keep me alive. We'll see if we can make that happen. But that'll be we're gonna be doing that at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, I believe. So look out for that. Tune back in at that time. And then next week, we'll be back with a mostly regular schedule for the most part. We'll let you know. But Game S Mornings will be back and all that stuff. In the meantime, though, Tam, thank you so much for spending today with me talking about video games. I really appreciate it, man.
As always, I love it. I'm glad to be here. And I hopefully I won't be here next week. But, I'll be back after that.
I'll find someone for Friday, everybody. But we'll miss you, Tam. So thank you to Rosie for the tweets, and then thank you all for watching. You're the best audience in gaming. Until next time, have a good one. Take care of yourself, and get your nudes out of my mentions.
Stop it.
All right. We've done it, everybody.
We did it.